Hello scholars, welcome back to the Kemet Maasai Academy YouTube channel. This is our series on student motivation. I'm continuing the reading from the Student's Master Plan, Hardcore Rules for a Lifetime of Success. So the topic that I'm reading today, respect others' property. Everyone has at least some material possessions that are important and valuable to them. Usually we take very good care of our own belongings because we want them to last and serve us well. But we are sometimes not so careful when it comes to other people's property. When we go out into the public spaces, some of us take for granted the facilities and services that the government has provided for us. Some people litter the streets, deface the walls of parks and hospitals, scar or damage plants, destroy the seats in buses, and sometimes completely decimate telephone booths. But if we stop to think about it, the money that the government uses to provide these facilities comes from taxpayers, your very parents and neighbors. So in effect, those who destroy public property are really destroying their own property and wasting their own tax dollars. You spend most of your day in the classroom. You make use of the desks and benches, the plumbing fixtures, the electrical fixtures, the yard space. All these things are the property of the school and should be taken care of collectively by the students. The better you take care of them, the longer you will have them to use. Do not write or draw on the desks or benches. Do not rock the benches and make them weak. Do not litter the classroom with paper, sharpener shavings, boxes, bags, and discarded lunch packages. Use the bin to store your refuse. If you borrow books from other students or from your teacher, do your best to take care of them. Hold the books carefully to avoid damaging the spine of the book. Place the book flat on the table and lift it as little as possible. Try not to fold the pages. Do not lift large books with one hand while they are open. If you have to borrow a pencil, sharpener, or eraser, return it as soon as you are finished. If you do not care for other people's things, they will not want to lend or share with you again. When you do your best to care for what you see around you or for what you have borrowed, you show the owner that you respect their property, and they will have no problem lending or sharing with you again. Alright, so this is about respecting other people's property. Right? So many times we borrow people's things, and some of us don't even care our own things. Some of us don't even take care of our very own things, and so we don't know how to care for other people's things. So when we borrow people's things, we just, we manhandle them. I've seen students borrow books from other students, and then they're finished with the book, they just leave it there. Or they will see somebody's book fall to the floor, and rather than pick it up, and put it on the table or to say, here is your thing, they just step over it. Some of them step on it. I've seen children borrow erasers and just toss it back, toss it down. Pencils, they sharpen it down. So because of this, many parents tell their children, do not lend. Now this is something where in my class, if a child asks another child to lend, if he or she can borrow, I will not tell that student to lend it, especially if the parent has said, do not lend your things. I'm not going to tell a child to. I know sharing is caring, and we encourage our little ones to share, but I understand, because I've seen too often where parents make so many sacrifices to provide for their children. They get their books, they get their whatever they need for school, and then they come to school and other children borrow it and they don't care for it. Sometimes they don't even return the thing. They use it and then they just toss it down, don't even bother to give it back. And so I well understand after a while for those parents and students to say, you know what, I'm not going to lend. I'm naturally a kind-hearted person, but these students have pushed me to the point where I just will not lend. I understand when students and parents get to that point, because some of us just do not care for other people's things. Now, if you borrow something, first of all, we should all try to have our own things. Try as much as you can to get your own things. And parents, I know it's a huge sacrifice, but try to see to it that your children have their textbooks, their notebooks, whatever they need for school. Try and see to it that they get what they need, so that they don't have to become a bother to other students, because nobody likes to be bothered and nobody likes to feel like they are a bother. And I've seen it on the faces of many of these students. They need the thing, it has not been provided for them, and they are scared to ask, or they just feel like a bother, and so they don't ask. So let us try to provide for our students, right? And let us encourage our children to take care of other students' property. And in Jamaica, as part of our culture, if a child comes home with anything that does not belong to them, the parents will see to it that that is returned to school. It's just part of how we are raised. Not every parent is like this. I'm not saying all Jamaicans are like this, but especially the older ones will tell you that's how we were raised. Don't take home any child's belongings. Whether you got it, whether the child give it to you, yes or no, let the parent know and decide if it's something you can keep. But don't just take up another. If you find something in the classroom, you return it to the teacher. So these are things that we should encourage in our children. If you find something that you know does not belong to you, take it to the teacher, take it to the lost and found, take it to someone in authority so they can find out who it belongs to. Because these things cost a lot of money. So whether you find someone's bag, their shoes, maybe they change for PE and they misplace the school shoes, the PE gears, the lunch kit, all these things. It's not yours. Take it to someone who can get to the bottom of it and find out who it belongs to. And don't just say, oh well, finders keepers, because if you lost something, you would not want somebody to just take it like that when they can be able to trace it back to you. So you should try your best to trace it, right? And if you do end up having to borrow, whether it's somebody's book, someone's pencil, someone's anything, take care of it. See to it that you return it in the same condition that you got it. Return it in the same condition that you got it. Because if you don't, then maybe you won't be able to borrow from that person again. Because they're just going to say, you know what, you don't care for my stuff, I'm not going to lend it to you. And we all know that is when you need it most, that's the time it has been cut off from you. You have no opportunity to go back to that person and borrow it. So try to take care of other people's things. And the property of the school, take care of the property of the school. The tables, the desks, the chairs, the fixtures, the utilities, the bathroom supplies, they're all for the school community. So we should all take care of them and share them. In the wider community, take care of everything. If you travel on the bus, don't deface the bus, don't write graffiti all over the walls of the bathroom. All of these things, guys. Show respect for other people's property. Alright? So if you have benefited from this motivational video, please share it so other students may benefit. And if you have not subscribed yet to the Kemet Maasai Academy channel, please do so. I'll see you in the next video.